There's been a couple of times that I think that I was actually close to checking out, close to death in my life. I was laying in bed and I had been sick, violently sick for about a week and a half. And I'd been to the doctor and nobody could figure out what was going on. I had initially uh, went up to the emergency room. Let me back up. I became where I was hallucinating that morning. I was having, and these weren't fun hallucinations, and I do know the difference, where the patterns would become I could tell it was about to happen, and the patterns would come up very geometric patterns, and everything would turn into squares before I would have this severe paranoia and panic attack. And it would come, and then it would go. And it would come on for a few minutes, and I was very, very thirsty, and I would drink a whole lot of water, 2, 3 bottles at once of the plastic bottles that most people keep. And it got bad enough that I called the now ex-narcissist at work, and I said, look, something really bad is happening with me. I am having hallucinations, and they're coming and going, and I don't know what I should do, but things are getting dangerous. I was at home, and she was at work. And so I drove. There was a hospital not far away. So I drove myself to the emergency room at the hospital, and I told the lady, I said, I'm really sick. I don't feel good. I'm throwing up and some other stuff. And I mentioned to her, I'm also having, I think there's some hallucinations and something's not right. And this nurse should have been fired for this. But she told me, you really don't want to tell me if there's anything wrong up here. I'm going to take you up to the 7th floor. Okay. So that got me to tone that part down real quick. I didn't mention again because I didn't want to end up in the psych ward, which doesn't sound like any more fun than where I was at. So they did some tests. I was in the emergency room for a couple of hours. I had called initially to get her to take me to the hospital. And remember, at this time, I don't know what's going on. I don't even know about narcissism, right? So she tells me that she's busy. She's got something to do. I've never asked anybody to take me to the hospital before. It was that bad. But she was busy as a teacher. She's not even a teacher. It's more of a daycare worker for the young kids, that she couldn't come home and take me to the hospital. Took myself. So I wrap up and I go back home, and I'm still sick, and I make it to another. I can't remember the exact timeline, but and one of the other days, either that day or one of the other days, I was laying in the back room. I'd been throwing up constantly, just violent sick, and it wouldn't stop. I lost about 18 pounds in about 10 days. And one of the days was on a Saturday or a Sunday. It was bright out. It was the afternoon. And I started to have one of these episodes again where I could tell that something was about to happen. There was something that would course up through my body, and I could tell when the hallucination was about to happen. I asked her, I go, can you please, you got to sit down on the bed with me. I can't handle this. It's terrifying when it happens. And with this real pouty, snotty look, she sat down on the bed for maybe half a minute, and then got up and left. And she would check in on me once in a while, just like crack the door open, then just shut the door. Never, I'd ask for something. I could barely ask for anything. I could barely even talk. But this last time is the focus of what I'm getting at, and that it had gotten really terrible that afternoon. I'm in the back. I can't. These waves of hallucinations and sickness come over me all at once, but then they go away, which is really weird. It would happen for 30 minutes, and then it would go away for an hour or two, and then it would happen for 30 minutes, and this continued long after the sickness that was going on. Right. So I hear her arguing loudly in the hallway after she'd slammed the door the last time. And I don't know what they're arguing about. I think that she was talking to her mother. I'll let you know. I'll get back to that. I think that she was arguing with her mother about something because they were in on this together. I'm going to keep talking about this until I'm satisfied that somebody understands what I'm talking about. So, but as she's arguing in there, and I'm sick, and this sickness, hallucinogenic waves of nonsense are coming over me, a spirit appeared outside the window, and this was not. I promise you, this is not part of the hallucinations. There's a difference. When we are in liminal states of mind, like when people do take hallucinogens, sometimes the things that you see are not real, and sometimes it opens up doorways that are real. And this was not the same kind of appearance that I had experienced. And it wasn't, you couldn't see the spirit, but I knew the spirit was there, and it was ready to take me. And I'm telling you 100% truth. I firmly believe what it just sounds crazy when I tell you this, but the windows were open. There's a road, and then on the other side of the road, there's a creek full of trees. I loved looking out of this house because there were these trees, the tree line, and a creek across, and I really enjoyed living there. And I was looking out the creek, and it was a sunny day, and that entity showed up. And I can tell you that without seeing it, there wasn't a visual of this entity, but it was there. And I would say it was probably twice as big as a human and very, very old. But also it was real neutral. It was almost like if you were going to be ushered into some event somewhere. And it hung around for a while, maybe a half an hour, maybe longer. And I started to pray. And I prayed that whatever's happening to me, because I could tell that I was on the way out. I was about to check out. And I said, look, we have two sons, and one was a little over a year old. And I said, look, I want to be around to raise my kids. This is very important to me. Please, whatever's happening here, please make it stop. And as I moved that thought through my head, the arguing in the hallway stopped. I don't know where she went. I don't remember what happened the rest of the day. But the loud arguing stopped, and the spirit, poof, disappeared. And from that point on, I did not get sick like that again. Remember, at this time, I don't know what narcissism is, and I don't know what's happened. But that morning, or one of those mornings, I was offered a plate of food. There's two times that I remember. There's more than that. I can go through many times where I thought that there was some sort of sickness that was following me from house to house. It was poison. Things were being done to me, and I didn't realize it for years and years. One of them was this pasta that I really liked, and she put some in the top shelf of the refrigerator and told me that her mother had made it for me. And her mother hated me and made no secret how much she hated my guts, backstabbed me, lied about me, smeared my name everywhere I had no idea that this was happening, but we do now. And I didn't eat it. For some reason, I didn't eat that. And the ex-narcopath got angry with me. She got really mad that I didn't eat this dish of pasta, this cold pasta that I really liked. And so she threw it away. And that was that. I never did eat it. But not too long after, They said that they were out of wake. This man's name was BJ, and he died mysteriously too. And I'm wondering if there's some foul play with this, but I never could get a hold of his family. God bless them, man. If they exhume this man, I guarantee you're going to find some sort of poison in him. And he passed away. And they had a wake a year later, which is really strange. You don't have a wake a year later. And I wasn't invited. I didn't go. But they made me a plate of food. And I'll never forget, it was Tex-Mex and had black beans and some other stuff in it. Well, I had eaten it that morning, and that's when I began to hallucinate. It was not long after that, but I never put this stuff together. It didn't make any sense to me. So I eat it. I began to hallucinate before I drove myself to the hospital, and I'm asking the ex-narcopath to please take me to the hospital. And it would come and go. I would be just as lucid as I am now, and then 20 minutes from that, I'd be hallucinating and in this ultra paranoia. I think this is what rats experience right before they die. It's got to be something like that. This wasn't like like LSD or anything. It was very, very uncomfortable, very nasty. So anyway, this spirit had come to usher me away, and I made the decision that I didn't want to go, and I think that's when things really began to fall apart. I didn't understand what I was looking at. It wasn't until the narcissist started the discard, and I was talking with several other people that didn't know each other, and I would tell them how she behaved and about the plate of food, and there were other things too that I would mention, and they would say, and I didn't pick up on this. I just thought she was just being a bitch. And they said, "Hey, she's trying to murder you." And then I looked, like, oh, that's right. I have an insurance policy, and that's why the back door was open, and that other guy was in my house. And when I went back from my buddy's lake house one morning and called 10 minutes before I got there, and the kids were gone, the baby was at her mom's house, and she's in full makeup, in full clothes, and the pillows all rearranged on the couch, and all the doors unlocked, and something was going on. It was one of those where I had an intuition that I followed it. So I got about 7 a.m. At my buddy's lake house, about an hour and a half away from home, and I drove home to see what was going on, and barely missed it, which was probably a good thing. That's probably a godsend that I didn't show up when this fellow was there. Strangely enough, a little bit after the divorce is final, this fellow also turned up dead at like 39 years old. 38, some mysterious, I guess they called it pneumonia, some respiratory failure, but it seems a little bit young to have something like that. Again, my guess is that he was probably going to rat them out, and for some reasons that I won't share right now. And yeah, so they took care of business that way because I wouldn't die. So that's why I'm here today. I believe that this is a spiritual battle. It really is. This isn't just a personality disorder. This is these issues that we are having to endure and fight with now. There's like a massive awakening is going on. The people are seeing that it's happening with the people that are in our government and the people that are currently in charge, or people that are currently influencing our lives, and that's going to end too. But they're the ones that make it possible for our narcissists to behave the way they do. What really sucks about this is that they've never been caught. And there's a lot of mysterious pet deaths around these two. The narcissist and narcissist bitch 1 and narcissist bitch 2, pets dying and spouses dying, and just there's a lot of just curious things. Once is an accident, twice is a coincidence, 3 is a pattern, and they're out. They are out right now, and it's rough to know that they have gotten away with attempted murder, but they haven't really gotten away with it. All appearances look like Well, okay, life is kind of like Facebook in a way where everybody gets to see just the surface. There, you don't get to see what's going on underneath, right? So there are things that are going to happen to these people if they don't make some sort of allocution and fix what they've done. And I don't think they can. Some of these people are going to end up in some really, really deep hell realms for a very long time. It's a spiritual universe, and this is a spiritual issue. I love it that y'all come and hang out with me. There's so many people making content now that if you do hang out with me, I always do appreciate it. Just comment. I only got 2 comments last time. Maybe it's because I wasn't really talking about narcissism. I'm not going to try to sell you a coffee cup or anything. It's just come hang out with me. I used to get a lot of views, and now I don't really get that many. It kind of sucks. But anyway, with that, I'm going to sign off. I wish you health, happiness, security, freedom from suffering, and that you live your lives with ease.